Every book has a story, and not just the one on the inside. Let's talk about it. I'm Nora McInerny. I'm an author. I'm a podcaster. I'm here a few times a week talking about all kinds of things, but mostly feelings. I'm also a huge thrifter. I love going to the thrift store and going right to the books. When I'm going thrifting, I am not looking for books that I've heard of. I'm not looking for books that a reseller might want. I'm not even looking for like books that I've recognized. I'm really looking for something else, and I know it when I see it. I love physical books. I have an e-reader. I listen to books, but there is something about a physical book that's so magical. I thrift books, and I have books from my dad and my uncles and family and friends. And I love, love, love knowing that an object was a part of somebody else's life. And I love even more when I can open a book and see somebody else's notes, their highlights, and their inscriptions. Those are the things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for notes, I'm looking for highlights, I'm looking for little indications of the person who owned it before me. And that's because I'm just naturally curious, also known as nosy. And it's also because I just like to know. I like to know where something came from if I can. Sometimes you'll go to Goodwill, you'll see a bunch of books that are like variations on a theme, and you just know someone died and these are all of their books. Okay, I have several books that are all from one dead therapist. I have another collection of books from another dead therapist. There's a lot of therapists dying in Phoenix, Arizona, I guess. I mean, I guess there's just people dying all the time, and these just happen to be. Who cares, Nora? Let's focus. But these books are special. These books have like an actual story inside of them.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
This is the first one. It's called When a Parent is Very Sick. I picked this up at the Goodwill in Happy Valley, Arizona, which is a real place. It's a great Goodwill. The book section is a little hit or miss. There are often quite a few like LDS books. It's almost all LDS books. Books of Mormon, variations on the Book of Mormon, books by LDS leaders, etc., etc. This book jumped off the shelf at me. As you know, everything that I do has to have a little bit of sprinkle of sadness to it. And what is sadder than a book called When a Parent is Very Sick? So I open it and I see that it is loved. It was written in 1986 by Ida LeShan, who is an educator, writer, and family counselor, and the author of several highly acclaimed books for children, including Learning to Say Goodbye, When a Parent Dies, and Grandparents, A Special Kind of Love. This book, she dedicated it to Larry in recognition of the thousands of sick parents, as well as their children to whom he has dedicated so much of his life. The binding is cracked here. It goes right to the title page. I flip back a page, and there's a note. There's a note. I'm going to read it to you. To my daughter, Tiffany, from your daddy. I won't say the full name, even though I can read it. It's hard to read, but this person deserves, not to have their name just like blasted out in a video. Sweetheart, I love you very much, and I'm not able to put certain things into words without getting mixed up. I hope this book will help you understand how both you and I feel. Love, your daddy. Someday we will get together and tell each other how we feel about each other. P.S. If you're mad at me, that's okay. I love you no matter how you feel. One, this dad has a hell of a lot of emotional intelligence. I'm guessing he gave this book to Tiffany in 1986 or very shortly after. This is a first edition of When a Parent is Very Sick. I read that, stunned, had to buy this book, had to take it off the shelves, had to look up that man and see if he is alive. He is not, but I don't know if he was the sick parent or if Tiffany's mom was the sick parent. And maybe it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know how this book ended up at the thrift store. I don't know if Tiffany donated it. I don't know if her dad donated it. I don't know how it wound its way there, but it is mine now. And it is an artifact of this person's life. And it's an artifact of his daughter's life. And it is an artifact of the love that this dad felt for his daughter, that he wanted to give her something that would help her sort through and identify these really challenging feelings that she was having, and that he acknowledges in his inscription to her when he gave her this gift, that he doesn't always have the words, that it's hard for him to talk without getting mixed up, but that he wants to get together and talk about it someday. That is such a beautiful little sample of parenting. I don't know this guy. I am projecting so much based on like one inscription in one book, but I don't know. I just had to have it. I had to keep it. Next, we have this Ray Bradbury book. Honestly, Ray Bradbury, what a cutie pie. I don't think he gets enough credit for just being like, just a cute man. Okay. Though specialist in space, Ray Bradbury's favorite form of transportation is the bicycle. Okay. Well, that's great. This is S is for Space by Ray Bradbury. It is a Doubleday reinforced library edition. It still has like the Dewey Decimal sticker on the back of it. This was also a Goodwill purchase. I opened it right away. Boom. Inscription. It reads Webster. Bradbury is, no questions asked, my favorite short fiction writer. I got this from a massive library book sale, which attests to the nerd I am. Hopefully you either find this to be a good book or at least an interesting read, but I hope it does more than that. Semicolon. I hope it gives you ideas or makes you smile. Both would make me especially happy. Forever a nerd for you. Rach. Heart. And then an address. Rachel, last name withheld, her address at Bryn Mawr College. Now, this copy is from 1966. I don't know when she got it at a library sale, but it ended up at Apollo Junior High School Library, Richardson Independent School District in Richardson, Texas. Then Rachel, the nerd, bought it. She was at Bryn Mawr College. Did she live in Texas? Did she grow up in Texas? Was she just passing through Texas? She sent it to Webster. Is that a first name or a last name? I don't know. That's like kind of a flirtatious inscription to me. It also reads, and this is as, I can say this as a girl who was always like, hi, do you like me? Hi, I'm your friend. Do you like me? Do you like me? No, they didn't like me. This reads like, I know we're friends, but what if we were more than friends? I want to give you this book and I want you to see me and write me back at college and tell me how much you love this book. Did Webster write Rachel back? I don't know. Okay. Were they friends? Were they cousins? Were they boyfriend, girlfriend? Were they friends that she was hoping it was her boyfriend? I don't know anything. I just know that I saw that inscription. I had to have this book, and this book is an artifact of friendship, maybe more. I don't know. Rachel saw it at a library book sale and thought of Webster and then wrote it in. How did it end up at the thrift store? Like, was Webster like, look, my wife needs me to get rid of this book. It's been years. I've been carrying this around. Like, I got to let Rachel go. Did they end up getting married and having a bunch of kids? And then Webster died and Rachel just couldn't live with, all the artifacts of their love. I don't know. These are just thoughts I'm having. Okay. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. I don't know if they're particularly healthy, but that's one. This last one's going to be a little bit of a doozy. It certainly was for me. Pulled this off the paperback section. It looked like just a novel, a novella, like a very short book. It says Burn After Writing by Sharon Jones. I open it and I realize it's a journal. It's a journal that you fill out and you are meant to burn. And instead, it ended up at Goodwill. And who knows how these things happen. Bunch of books get swept up into a donation pile. The number of journals that I have found at Goodwill, the number of journals with personal information in them that I have just slipped into the garbage, brought up to the front and been like, you can't sell this, please. Or that I just buy and throw away just sometimes. I bought this one because I was like, I've got to take this out of circulation. And I don't know. I don't know who this girl is. I don't know where she ended up, but I know that I feel for her. The smartest choice I made as a teenager, leaving home after being abused. I feel guilty for not doing enough for my kids and the man I want to marry. My life story in 3 sentences. Have you ever felt like dying, but the cost would make you a burden? But then you realize you are a burden yourself. So you sit and cry because you can't do anything right. Baggage I am carrying? I am baggage. How cool would my 16-year-old self think I am right now? She'd think, wow, you're a college graduate, have a good man and cool kids, you're winning. Things I've learned along the way? Not enough. The biggest hole in my life was left by not being able to tell my mom goodbye. I couldn't touch her, smell her, see her in person. She was sad and scared. She was alone. Video chat wasn't enough. This to me is just a really potent reminder that every single person that you interact with is carrying something that is fully invisible to you, that is heavier than you think it is, that is heavier than they would even admit to being. This says burn after writing. I am going to burn this in honor of whoever this belonged to. And if you are out there, I am so glad that you are here. The world needs you. You are loved. You deserve to be here. And what happened to you, which is an entry I won't be reading, what happened to you was not your fault. That was not your friend. You did not deserve that. The world is full of stories, and most of them are stories that we're never going to hear and never going to read. I love imagining the past lives that objects have had. I love imagining where my objects are going to end up. Whoever inherits or finds my books at a Goodwill is going to be like, this woman was, ooh, okay. Because I do leave notes in books, okay? And I did get a stamp that put my full name in the books I owned, and you better believe that I'm using it. The things that we leave behind are the things that connect us through space and time, and so are our stories. I would love to know if you have found anything with a good story to it while you were thrifting, if you've ever found a book with an inscription like any of these, or if you are any of the people who these books belonged to before, please let me know. I'm Nora McInerny. I'm an author. I'm a podcaster. I'm here a few times a week. I love hearing from you. This is our phone number. This is our email. I have a weekly Substack with essays, full podcast episodes, and so much more. That's also going to be linked in the description, but thank you for being here.